get started.
Okay, we're Team RamRod, and our article was on women's changing perceptions of macho men. And there's an experiment that they did that almost 5,000 women took part in, and it gave pictures of the same guy with different features that they just kind of changed using computer programming. And this one you can see is the macho man, and this one is the more feminine man. You can see kind of by their jaws and eyebrows and stuff like that. But they said that more women found the feminine looking man attractive than the macho man. So their perspectives are kind of changing. And they said that one way that you could predict which kind of man a woman likes is by the World Health Organization statistics, stuff like mortality rates, life expectancy, and the impact of communicable diseases. And the countries with lower health is more prone to choose the masculine man, and people with higher life expectancies are preferring like males with more feminine characteristics and stuff like that.
Yeah. So we have a picture of Clint Eastwood up here, and he's a very manly guy. So the link for masculinity, a good male in health is testosterone, the hormone behind manly muscles, strong jaws, prominent eyebrow ridges. So like that's the thing that makes dudes more tough and masculine than the feminine dudes. And it also has to do with like strength and fitness and blah blah blah, all that stuff. So we wanted to do a comparison between a really feminine looking man, Louis XIV, and a very masculine man, Professor Matsuda. So you might be able to tell the hair, the wig, and he looks kind of like a chick. He's pretty manly. So the price of masculinity. Women often think that high testosterone types are uncooperative, unsympathetic, and philandering. So they usually think that these tough guys that they're all buff and everything, they usually don't care about families as much. They're not as caring or loving or whatever. They're more like, you know, I'll come home and I want my dinner on the table kind of thing. So I don't think chicks like that too much. Oh crap.
All right, and in a study of about 2,100 Air Force veterans who have a higher level of testosterone than your average male, they found that it was 43% more likely for that man to get divorced, 31% more likely for the man to leave home because of marital problems, 38% more likely to cheat on their wives, and they're 13% more likely to admit that they hit or hurdled things at their significant other. And so the idea here is that a woman might be more subconsciously attracted to a male with high testosterone just because, I don't know, that's the evolutionary reaction, I guess. But it may come at the expense of fidelity or not being hit. And the U.S. is 5th out of the 30 countries in the study for like wanting high masculinity because we are 20th of the 30 countries, or 20th in the WHO's health rating.
So another reason why masculinity is being devalued is due to a social shift. So in 1970, women represented 43.3% of workers, and today they represent 55.8%. And the recession in America has been a tremendous blow to men in very traditionally masculine jobs because 82% of those jobs affect only men. And right now in the U.S., families find themselves more economically dependent on women, and over 70% of mothers have jobs outside of homes, and they're no longer reliant on men. So women may come to value other qualities in a mate other than being a provider. And in conclusion, American women have become increasingly secure economically, socially, and medically, so they're more financially independent. And this means that they might be more willing to pursue metrosexuals or guys who exfoliate, order salads at dinner, and carry man purses. And one final quote by Karita Kent to finally sum up is that women's liberation is the liberation of the feminine in the man and the masculine in the woman. Thank you.
Any questions?
Like what brought what brought them to do this study? Why? They just
Well, pretty much the reason that they do any study, I mean, just to kind of find out, and they were noticing that more metrosexual guys in like the U.S. or in other places were like finding mates, and masculine people were finding it harder to find a woman. So they just kind of did a study to see if they could prove anything with data or statistics.
It also could just be a tip for guys out there that can't get a girlfriend. Maybe they need to start carrying man purses or something.
Do you think the movement occurred more because of women's role in industry as far as having more manlier jobs, or their want to deviate from a rough relationship and all that?
I think that was most closely tied to the health index. So probably just because they don't need a man who has very strong genes, because they live in a healthy society. So they're probably deviating from a rough relationship or something like that would be my guess.
Yes. Interesting. So because of this, the social shift, that women's increase in the labor participation, right? So they need less economic dependence on men. So that means females start looking for, feminine males. But I mean, can you say this in a reverse fashion? So that means, the man who lost a job. You see that? They need a woman with a nice economic standing. You see? So men will start looking for a woman with manly characteristics. Can you reverse this?
I don't think so. I don't think.
You don't think so?
We'd have to do a study.
So wait, does that make good economic status then a manly characteristic?
Traditionally, it is. Historically, I mean, it is. I'm sorry.
Would you, as men, be willing to do more feminine activities to attract ladies?
Like what?
Yeah, such
Like
Exfoliating.
Order
The satchel.
carry purses.
Please don't carry a merch, please.
I wouldn't go to like extremes of exfoliating and man purses, but I would be more. I think a lot of guys that are masculine are kind of like rude and stuff, and they like belch and all that stuff. So maybe I would just be more polite, because that's kind of like a feminine thing. I think that's, I don't know.
more polite.